of resisted seeing this, just because based on the trailer for it, which I wasn't that interested in. You weren't that
Agreed.
interested in.
Completely agreed.
Yet, people asked us if we were going to talk about
Sure.
it, and then the Golden Globes came out, and Tobey Maguire was nominated, and I kind of had this ongoing interest in war movies,
Yeah.
so I decided I'd take one for the team and watch the movie.
Sure. Well, I'll ask you in a little while if you took one for the team or if it was a pleasant experience.
Well.
Go ahead first.
But let me just ask you,
Okay.
as we sit here, you've seen the trailer.
Again,
What do you think this movie is
I
about?
can tell you exactly what it's about.
Tell me.
I saw the trailer.
You probably felt like
And my
you knew
wife
the
and I saw
entire
yes,
movie.
my wife and I saw the trailer together, and I whispered to her, or she whispered to me. I think we just saw the whole movie. Look, here's what the movie's about. Tobey Maguire is in Iraq or Afghanistan,
Afghanistan.
okay, and gets killed, and his wife, played by Natalie Portman, or girlfriend, something,
Wife.
thank you, gets news that he's been killed.
Yes.
So she's in grieving, of course,
Yes.
like any war widow would. And there to comfort her, as he should, is the brother of Tobey Maguire.
Played by Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yes. And he tells her, now I'm extrapolating a little bit, but a lot of this is in the trailer, I've always had feelings for you, or I can be there for you in the way that Toby used to be, whatever it is. And they start up a extramarital, or I should say,
Post-marital.
relationship that has to include sleeping over, and I'll tell you why in a little bit. Then,
Okay, all this
i.e.
is
sex.
reasonable.
Then he wakes up. He's not dead,
Mhm.
and he says, "I want to see my wife." So then she gets news that he's not dead, and then he comes home, and they say, "Dude, it's over. It has to be over because he's not dead." And everyone understands that
Yes.
it needs to be over. And then so he comes home, but he's screwed up. The war screwed him up a little bit.
Yeah.
And then he finds out from the little girl who knew that the brother
Yeah.
was sleeping over. I saw all this in the trailer, by the way. That they had a relationship, and then he goes crazy.
All right. No.
How can that not be it? How can you fit more into
The
a movie?
interesting thing about this movie, the
Okay.
most interesting thing about it is that I really think they didn't make the movie that they wanted to make. And what happened is that they decided that the way to sell this movie was that it wasn't a movie that was really about the war.
Right,
That
because
is
war movies outside of Hurt
Nobody
Locker
wants
have
them.
tanked.
And see, here's the deal, and even
And
Hurt Locker.
and Iron Man.
And here's the deal. This will be used as an example of why people don't want to see war movies. But if they had just made the damn movie as the war movie they wanted it to be, people
Right.
would want to see it. It's interesting.
Okay, so you enjoyed the film.
No.
Oh.
I enjoyed it somewhat, but they didn't have the cojones
Uh-huh.
to make the movie they wanted to make. Here's how it deviates from your understanding of it, which is exactly what I thought too, by the way.
Right. I mean,
All right,
you couldn't have
he
thought much
very
differently.
quickly goes to Afghanistan. Their helicopter is shot down somehow. He's captured. You never think he's dead. You know all along that he's not dead.
Oh, okay.
It happens very early in the movie.
Okay.
Oh, and by the way,
Okay, so while they're having the quote unquote affair,
no.
we know that.
By the way, there's no affair.
Oh, they didn't sleep together.
No affair whatsoever.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's gonna be some spoilers here, but you know what? It's not. It doesn't matter because you're not gonna see
Alright.
this movie except for Tobey Maguire's performance, which is pretty good. but
Okay.
It's not great. Anyway, there's no affair.
There's going to be.
They
some
kiss
spoilers.
one time,
Okay.
but it's a very little part of the movie.
Okay, so
There's
when he
no
was
sex.
nuts at the end in the trailer.
Okay, but you're getting ahead now.
Okay.
Here's what they wanted the movie to be about. It's called Brothers.
Uh-huh.
All right, so he and Jake Gyllenhaal are brothers. It starts out with him going to pick up Jake from jail. He's been in prison. Okay.
Okay.
So one of them's the good son, one's the bad son. Tobey Maguire's the good son. He's in the military. Blah blah blah. Then he very quickly goes to Afghanistan and gets shot down. He has a very close buddy in the military. Tobey Maguire does. They both are captured.
Mm-hmm.
And
They're brothers. They're war
they're
brothers.
war brothers, right?
And a stronger bond than his actual blood brother.
Perhaps.
Gotcha.
And yet, Tobey Maguire wants to get back so badly that, spoiler alert, he beats to death his brother, his army brother,
I see.
on video.
To get a dishonorable discharge.
No, so he isn't get killed by these Al Qaeda.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Right, so you would not know anything about that, right?
Huh.
Because the idea of,
So
oh
it
my
sound-
God,
it
a movie
sounds
that's about
interesting
an
now,
American
all of a
beating
sudden.
an American to death, and it's shot on video. So there's this whole other. I would actually be interested to read the script for this movie because there's this whole other way that it could have gone, which was, now he comes back and it surfaces that he beat to death
Right.
one of his own men, and it's on video, but nothing ever happens with it. It totally disappears. So he does. He comes back and he's understandably upset. He's upset not because he thinks they're having an affair, but because he beat to death one of his best friend's brothers. His military brother. And then he starts to think they're having an affair. That's true. But like the showdown that you see between them, it's like literally like the last 10 minutes of the film.
Mhm.
It's very small.
With
part
the
of
cops
it.
coming in, he's shooting
Yeah.
a gun in the air.
Yeah, and guess what? Guess who ends up in jail at the end? The brothers are switched, their roles are switched or whatever. So it was an interesting film. Not what they advertised it as, because they tried to advertise it as this pretty conventional thriller, I think, with this twist of it having to do with the war. But it really would have been interesting. I really found it interesting to watch the stuff where he's a prisoner to these people, and of course they're horrible, and they're making him do these things. But I really think it's an example where that was viewed to be like something people wouldn't want to watch. Or you don't want to upset people by suggesting American would do this or could do this. Instead, let's don't focus on that.
Tobey Maguire is an A-list actor in the sense that he's at the
Yeah,
Spider-Man
sure, he's at
franchise,
the top of everything.
what
right?
drew this caliber of actor? Is that why you want to read the script? Because you don't understand why these three actors wanted to be...
No, I want to know like what originally, how much it had to do with actually the video being shot of him beating this guy, because the way it's set up in the film, you think,
You can't talk
know
about
that
this
we're going to
film
have to see
without
this. Yeah, there's no way.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter because people aren't expecting any of that.
So what drew these three actors to this
Well, it's Jim
material?
Sheridan,
Yeah.
who, by the way, usually makes good movies,
Yeah.
right? And
Have you seen it in America?
I haven't, but I'm a big fan of My Left
Yeah,
Foot,
I'm
and In the
almost-
Name of the Father's pretty
I
good.
feel
and-
like movie hour challenging.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I will. Yeah,
All right.
in
I'll take
America.
it. I'll take it.
Okay, not this coming week, but the next one.
And it's Tobey Maguire and Jake Gyllenhaal and Natalie Portman. It's a big movie. They probably think that they're doing something that's significant about the war. Blah blah blah.
But even then, though, it's like war movies are so toxic.
But it's not a war. They aren't though. I don't believe that. And if they would
Well,
have
the box
guts,
office is kind of shown, or maybe
no, but those movies,
maybe bad
those
war
movies
movies
haven't
are
been war
toxic,
movies.
yeah.
They've been like aftermath
Lions and Lambs.
melodramas of it. And if they had actually made a movie that was about guys being hostages and mistreated, I think people would be interested in it.
If it's
they're
accurately
gonna care.
done and interesting.
I don't know. Anyway, it could
So-
have been a very controversial film. Is
Okay,
the bottom line,
so-
and they chose to do something that would offend no one in the end.
I don't know how you. I guess for the sake of the show, I will see all of the Oscar nominees.
Yeah,
If
this will
possible,
not. It
won't
be
get there. It won't get there.
No, it
Okay.
won't be nominated. And Tobey Maguire, maybe. Leo DiCaprio, his good friend since they were like 10 years old, invited all the Hollywood press people over and gave them all Blu-ray players.
Yeah, and
So
Tobey Maguire, of course, nominated for that Golden Globe best actor in a drama. Not worth though. Wait till DVD.
not really. Yeah, not really worth it. Could have
Okay.
been, but it's
Okay,
not.
all right.